The weather in Beijing has been colder than usual for the past few days. However, that chill isn't due to the season, but rather to the relentless wave of rumors surrounding Wang Yibo. Every minute, social media timelines are filled with whispers, screenshots, and even endless speculation. It's as if someone is deliberately fueling the issue to keep it burning. And despite the agency's multiple statements, the noise only grows louder, like a fire doused with gasoline. Amidst this tense situation, Xiao Zhan appears, not as a fellow celebrity or project mate, but as someone who seems genuinely concerned. He arrives at Wang Yibo's residence quietly, without publicity, without an official schedule, just with his heart and concern. Although the police have increased surveillance around Yibo's residence, the anxiety still can't seem to erase from his face. Several paparazzi cameras that happened to capture Xiao Zhan's arrival sparked mixed reactions from fans. On the one hand, many were touched. His presence was a symbol of genuine friendship. But on the other, fans began to worry. They saw that Xiao Zhan seemed too bold and careless about his own risks. The entertainment world is never as simple as it appears on screen. There are unseen dangers, unheard threats. Yibo himself chose to remain silent. In his silence, he tried to prevent a bigger commotion. He understood that every word from his mouth would become a major headline in a matter of seconds. But deep down, Xiao Zhan's presence gave him strength. That warmth was like a small light that could penetrate the darkness he was facing. However, fans hadn't forgotten the incident that once shook the fandom world. The incident that made the name Youmelong stick in internet history as a warning. They feared history would repeat itself, this time targeting two people simultaneously. This worry was not without reason. The intensity of rumors, media pressure, and public obsession could give rise to dangerous, unpredictable situations. Meanwhile, Xiao Zhan remained by Yibo's side. He accompanied him through the lonely days, listening, talking, and sometimes even just sitting there silently. Sometimes the silence was actually healing. Even so, his eyes looked tired. Fans who paid attention to the details of his expression began to feel increasingly uneasy. "She's so focused on taking care of Yibo that she's forgotten to take care of herself," wrote one fan on a Weibo forum. Fans formed various discussion circles. Some tried to change the subject, some gathered evidence to refute the rumors, and still others simply prayed from a distance. But one thing that united them was the fear of loss. The entertainment world has repeatedly shown how fragile an idol's happiness can be in the spotlight. Agencies on both sides tried to defuse the situation, warning against escalating the situation, but the public's voice was never easy to control. Every small gesture between Yibo and Xiao Zhan was scrutinized, every expression misinterpreted or exaggerated. Curses, support, speculation, all mixed into a storm that was difficult to navigate. But beneath all that, there were simple moments that weren't visible to the cameras. Like when Yibo smiled softly when Xiao Zhan said something silly just to lighten the mood. Or when the two of them sat leaning on the balcony, gazing at the night sky that seemed too calm for the situation. Such a friendship couldn't be faked. Even so, time passed, and the pressure didn't immediately disappear. Xiao Zhan began to feel physically and emotionally exhausted, while Yibo felt guilty for feeling like a burden to the people he cared about. A sincere relationship is sometimes most severely tested when the outside world refuses to give it space. Fans, growing increasingly anxious, began an online campaign to remind the two to remain cautious. They didn't want that sincerity to end up becoming new wounds. They learned from the past, from incidents they didn't want to repeat, from a collective trauma they still hadn't fully healed from. Amidst it all, one thing remained clear: Yibo and Xiao Zhan, despite the storms, chose not to let go of each other. Their friendship wasn't about the spotlight or popularity, but about the courage to persevere when the world felt tough. And perhaps, that's precisely where hope resides, between two hearts that care for each other, even when the world isn't always kind. Ultimately, the public may judge and speculate, but only the two of them know how important each other's presence is during this storm. And for now, All fans can do is pray that they both remain safe, both physically and mentally, until this storm passes.